New York City Mayor Eric Adams is kind of weird. So, during an interview with New York City network Pix 11, he was asked how he would describe the year in one word. Now, I got no problem with being weird. Being different, being unique, that's a good thing in my mind. But there is that kind of weird, and then there is this kind of weird.
Mr. Mayor, we've come to the end of what was a very eventful 2023, right? So when you look at the totality of the year, if you had to describe it, and it's tough to do, in one word, what would that word be, and tell me why?
New York. This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business that's open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe.
What? What a bizarre answer to that question. Now, look, I got to be honest. A question like that, I just find kind of stupid. You have the mayor in front of you. That's whatever. I'm sure there are other questions that were tougher. That's just a weird question. I don't think I would perform well in that question. Asked on the spot. Describe the year in one word. Complicated is maybe my answer. Depressing is a better answer. As the mayor, you can't really say it's been depressing. So his answer is New York, which is two words, but putting that aside, that wasn't the weirdest part about that answer. It's planes crashing into World Trade Center, or you may be starting a business. It's anything can happen in New York City. It's just so very bizarre. Now, look, Eric Adams being weird like this isn't the biggest issue with Eric Adams. I got just a couple of quick things to go through here, and then there's a video that you should all watch if you care more to learn about Eric Adams that I'll send you to at the end of this. But recently, and look, I don't cover New York City politics closely because I don't live in New York City. I don't care. But there is some things worth going over here considering the city is a major world city. So the FBI has recently seized Eric Adams' phones as campaign investigation intensifies. That was mid-November, I believe, November 10th. Then a few days later, more came out, what we know about the criminal investigation into Eric Adams' campaign. Federal authorities are examining whether the mayor's 2021 campaign accepted illegal donations, including from the Turkish government. So there's a weird connection between this real estate company and Turkey, and there's not a whole lot else that we really know, at least from what I'm reading. Apart from that, I'm sure more is going to come out. But Eric Adams being corrupt would not be all that surprising. But this isn't, again, even that isn't the worst part of his legacy so far. So he's recently axed more money from education, taking away $547 million from the education department, with more on the way. And that includes many of the cuts are expected to take effect immediately. They will touch a wide range of programs and positions that directly affect students, from the city's massive free preschool program to community schools that support families with out-of-school needs to the popular pandemic-era Summer Rising program. So one of the biggest cuts that he has made, or the biggest cut he has made, has been to education. And he's also recently vetoed 4 bills that were aimed to increase aid to the homeless. So he's also been a massive disaster when it comes to both homelessness as well as cost of housing. And in addition to that, he's had time to do this, invest more into the NYPD in terms of plainclothes units and facial recognition technology, which, of course, is a civil rights, or can be a civil rights issue. So there's more on that here. I was going to, read some of this, but ultimately this is a situation where you have a mayor who comes from the NYPD. Who would have thought investing more into draconian policies to impact the citizens of the city? And I imagine because of all of that, you now have the lowest approval rating for any New York City mayor since 96 at 28%. Y'all had issues with Bill de Blasio? Eric Adams seems to be 1,000 times worse. And this is the video I want to leave you all with. So, Olay, formerly of the Leftist Mafia podcast, still a friend of the show, put out a couple months ago her video on Eric Adams, the worst mayor in America. Does almost a 2-hour breakdown. And this is before the recent investigation, by the way. So almost a 2-hour breakdown into how terrible Eric Adams is. Go check that out. I will link to that below the video as well as on this page as well. Eric Adams, a complete disaster for a variety of reasons, and also just incredibly, incredibly weird.